It's the recognized news, and it's time for the press preview. But first, a look at what's on the front pages of the papers. And we start with our sister publication this day. Hayatu-Deen 2023 presidential election is PDP's to lose. That's what Hayatu-Deen is saying there. And then, of course, at the top mast, this is citing inflationary concerns. CBN raises MPR to 13%, first increase in 30 months. That will be it for this day.
And the Punch newspaper, leading with APC governorship tickets, it says aggrieved aspirants seek direct primary, alleged governors hijack delegate lists. You can find that on page 2. 3 photos just below that headline. EFCC breaks into Okorocha's Abuja residence, arrests ex-governor after a 7-hour siege. Let's take one more headline just above the Punch newspaper this morning. Man LCCI others kick as CBN raises lending rate to 13%.
The Nation newspaper leads with tension in states over PDP APC governorship primaries. Big wigs win more PDP Senate tickets. That's on page 5. And government to settle varsity poly teachers' pay with 34 billion naira.
All right. We look at the next paper, maybe. Okay, Tribune. We'll have Tribune there. CAN, as Christian Association of Nigeria, Arewa Group said things getting out of hand. That's it for, and then of course at the top master you see EFCC shoots, fires, tear gas, breaks doors to arrest Okorocha. Not just doors, they actually broke the ceiling, and that's what's very well, I guess we'll discuss that and see it. Then, of course, in the picture, under the picture, 811 delegates to pick PDP's presidential candidate. That's the Tribune.
Some international papers this morning. The Independent leading with this story. Number 10 staff reveal culture of drinking and parties. There are fresh claims of chaotic lockdown parties at Downing Street, just as Boris Johnson braces himself for the publication of Sue Gray's report. That leading photo there with the caption, "I just want justice." A mother speaks out after son loses finger escaping bullies.
In the Times, shooting at U.S. primary school leaves 21 dead. Drugs gang boss is running home for vulnerable children, and windfall tax will fund help for poor families in the UK.
Let's look at the I newspaper. Fuel bills to climb by £800 as price cap rises again. And I think at this juncture we'll probably bring Emmanuel in and let's discuss what the papers are saying. We start, of course, with this day. Oh, well, maybe you could start in case I don't have this day here.
All right, Emmanuel Bello, good morning. Thanks for joining us this morning. Let's take a look at this day newspaper. And following its presidential hopeful series interview is featuring Hayatu-Deen this morning, who says election is PDP's to lose if they conduct an acrimonious convention, if they don't put their party in order, and if they are not organized. He also went on to talk about how he is confident that he will get the ticket, as his message has resonated well amongst other things that he spoke about in the interview. What are your thoughts on this presidential aspirant?
Good morning, Kechi. Indian Kenneth, good morning too. It's a beautiful day, and of course, not when you look at the papers, you are not you get the feelings that you have all this crisis all over the world, from the international or foreign papers and down to the ones that we are looking at here. But Hayatu-Deen is telling us a different thing. about the fact that he can, do the job. He's a banker, an investment banker. And in this story, Hayatu-Deen is showing that, look, there can be a different direction. Already we read where yesterday he said, look, he's trying to change the complexion and the tone, or if you like, of politics, that he's an outsider, that he's not the regular kind of politician, he's not the day-to-day politician. And there are great examples all over the world. He mentioned Emmanuel Macron as one of his, his mentor, because Macron, as we all know, is a banker too, like him. This day is following up on what it says, that it's going to do a lot of interviews, conversation with the presidential hopefuls, so that we get to know who they are, what they are saying, and how they intend to deal with the crisis of the country. It's a good one, because getting into the minds of these people will probably help us make up our mind, though it's not entirely ours to even decide who is going to, because they are going for these primaries, and it's the primaries that are going to decide what will happen. And Hayatu-Deen is already warning that, look, you have to get that right. And he's saying that it shouldn't be anything based on zoning or any one of those kind of considerations. That if you do that, the PDP will be heading to, because right now the PDP is poised as far as they're concerned to win this election. But he say it all depends, one, on who comes out of that convention, and two, also the justice or the fairness involved. And he's saying that, look, zoning is such an antiquated thing. Already his party has taken a position on that. So he's just saying that, look, it's a good thing that the party threw it open, and that he is not running as a zoning candidate. He's running as somebody that has competencies and all of that. So it's a good thing. We'll be staying with this day as we look at the stories and listen to many of them. We listened to one yesterday, and we're listening to another one today. It's a good thing. You get into their mind, know what they're saying, know what they're thinking, their plans, their policy. Helps you to actually situate them better. But one thing is very clear. Many of them have got what it takes. They are very presidential in their outlook. Hayatu-Deen is saying that it's also important that someone forms alliances, and that he has formed those kind of alliances around the country already.
Emmanuel, while we get into their minds, delegates of the parties they belong to are apparently getting into their pockets. Now, we're hearing of rumors and allegations of sums being doled out to these delegates to the tune of thousands of dollars, Emmanuel. No one is paying delegates thousands of dollars to go in and be a selfless leader, are they?
Yes, Kenneth, and that's part of the problem, and that's why Nigerians were very excited when, the electoral bill was trying to an introduction of a direct primaries. It's a delegate, like we say, it's a delegate show now. So anyone with the delegates, can control the outcome, and this makes it very difficult. Getting the best is not always what you achieve with these delegates, because they go for the highest bidder in most cases. And already we have stories. I think Punch is carrying some of those stories too. So other people are carrying the stories of how the delegate list is being hijacked, and whoever has the delegate list has got the numbers, to tilt the outcome. And that is the problem with these delegates. And many of these delegates are not really, like you say, Kenneth, really interested about good governance, whether the best is emerging. The candidates are doing their best, talking to the delegates and say, don't sell your votes, don't sell your conscience. Look at the candidates of record, look at the candidates that have got their answers and all that. That's the best they can do. At the end of the day, it's up to the delegates. And the funny thing is that these delegates could even actually collect these monies and do something else. So it's a problem, and I think one of the areas or one of the things that electoral law wanted to deal with, unfortunately, it was pulled down and pushed down by the very people who want to be controlling delegates, the governors in particular. So we will have a direct primary situation would have been better, where you bypass these delegates and go straight to the people and get your votes. But the few elections so far that we've seen around the states, the primaries, have shown that some of the delegates can actually do what is right. Some of them have a mind of their own. So it's not a complete loss case, Kenneth. Some of them are really ready to do the right thing. And we just pray that more of them will just do the right thing and queue behind the right candidates.
Well, Emmanuel, I wonder what the right thing is. What you mean by the right thing is open to many interpretations, but let me leave that. APC has been postponing their dates. They keep on postponing. That's one. They postponed another one just yesterday that I took out the news. But this question is really befuddling the mind. EFCC shoots, fires, tear gas, breaks doors, not just doors. Had to break a roof to have access, Korocha's house. I mean, when I was watching it yesterday, I just couldn't understand the sense of it. Maybe you'll help me understand the sense, help us understand the sense of it. And governors meet today, court ruling on LGA financial autonomy may top agenda.
Yes, it will top the agenda because, I mean, that we praised that ruling yesterday. And Andy, you agree with me that it's the best thing that will happen to those local governments. We spoke about it yesterday extensively. This governance should just allow local governments get their direct funding. It's going to be good for everyone. And I mean, as a matter of fact, it's going to be good for the governors too. They don't have to worry too much about their accountability issues, the moral burden that they have to carry all the time when we question those finances and everything. So I hope when they meet today, they don't fight it. They don't. Of course, they always come up with issues around that because there are many issues to beyond what we think is right. The commando-style attack of the EFCC on Rochas yesterday actually captured a lot of it. I watched, I don't know the videos you watched, there were so many of them. I watched one or two myself, especially where you have Rochas Okorocha on the floor praying. The human angle to it suggests that, okay, well, this looks like somebody's right is being tampered with. But when you listen to the EFCC, who said, look, we've asked Rochas to show up, and he didn't, and so we have to actually go this extreme measure, extra mile to get him arrested. You begin to want to watch both sides of this development and this story, and there has been a back and forth situation between Rochas and the EFCC. Last time he said, look, it was his right that was being infringed on. He said it's political. Even yesterday, he alleged that, look, his screening is underway and the EFCC is being used to stop him from attending the screening. He's a presidential candidate in this race. Could be, that's the interpretation he's giving. But EFCC said that, no, this is our war. And the EFCC has come out so strongly recently, apart from busting the AGF, there's another case underway at Nimasa, and of course, this is EFCC way of saying that, look, we're here, we're doing the right thing. This president wants us to be tough on corruption, and we're doing that. That's the EFCC's position. And so, Rochas, but of course, maybe we can do with less, dramatic arrest, less gangster, almost gangster way of, or commando style of picking people. But EFCC say, well, Rochas did not honor our invitation, and that's why we have to go this, go this tough or this hard on him.
Enter through the roof. Well, no screening yet, actually. There's no screening here. Was it APC has postponed their screening, is not holding yet, at least for now, that we know. I think we'll leave it there. Emmanuel, thanking you so much for being on the press preview.